was one of the wildest, craziest experiences that I've ever had in my life. I made it to India, 30 plus hours of traveling, 3 flights, but I'm here in Jaipur. As I got there, I was exhausted. I was in a place that I knew nothing about, completely felt lost, and I have a wife, I have 2 kids at home, 12.5-hour time difference, so that was very difficult. I think the traffic and almost like congestion was very eye-opening. I've traveled all over the world. I've done, different mission trips and projects in different third world countries, and the poverty factor wasn't very much of a shock to me. I've experienced that before, but the congestion and traffic was something I've never experienced. I explained the traffic almost like a video game. People swerving in and out. There's no street lights and stop signs, and it's people crossing the street, people weaving in and out of traffic, animals in the middle of traffic. You're closing your eyes at some points just because you are thinking that you're gonna get hit. Just it's that wild. And then I get to the accommodation and kind of get my suitcases put away and set up, and they're like, okay, we'll be back in a couple hours to do an orientation. My head was just spinning. I was like, I'm so far away from home. I'm sleep deprived. I'm ready for bed. I want to see my kids. And I joke saying that somebody would have called me and said, hey Jeff, right now I will give you a plane home. No questions asked, you can leave right now. And it would not be looked upon as negative that you're doing it. I probably would have taken it. And if I did that, I would have missed out on one of the coolest experiences of my life. So I taught sports and baseball for the 2 weeks that I was there. So I went to 4 different organizations, orphanages, schools, and programs. So I have a baseball background. I played in college. I played professionally. So I came with 3 suitcases full of baseball equipment, and I got a bunch donated. You name it: gloves, bats, helmets, balls, cones, everything that we could use to put together some lessons. And it was a eye-opening experience to be able to go and teach baseball specifically to people that didn't know what baseball was, and watch them enjoy it and do well. So that was it was really fun, because baseball, is a huge part of my life and was a huge part of my life. So to be able to share that with kids and then leave them with the equipment that they need to hopefully keep practicing and playing and having fun, that was awesome. One of the organizations was for, they call it slum kids, and it's for kids whose parents cannot afford to send them to school. So this organization created a school for these slum kids. So they are trying to teach them English. So, for me, from 9 to 10:30, they would do sports, and then after that, they would go to an English class, and then they would go to a electronics class. The organization is trying to give them a variety of different tools that they could use, moving forward. But obviously, English is not their primary language. They know basic words. I was lucky enough to have a translator there with me, someone that worked for the organization that spoke both languages. Okay, I'm with Poonam here. What was your favorite part of the last 2 weeks?
You're very funny. I really enjoy spending time with you and playing with you.
I just felt like within those 2 weeks, I just made an impact and built relationships with these kids. You can tell every time I was there, they're excited to see me. They're always laughing, having fun, listening.
You're very nice. Please don't go. I really want you to stay here.
It's cool how sports can bring people together no matter what language you speak. It's like a universal language. Every day was a little bit different. Some days I would start at a certain time. Some days it would be a different time. So it just depended on when they needed me that day. But for the most part, taught about 4 hours each day, throughout each organization. And I would, wake up. I would obviously find something to eat, and then I would go do that, and then I'd have a little break, and then I'd go to the next one. And what was really cool is that the flexibility that I had, either in between those projects or after. I had the flexibility to travel around and hop on the train and go down to the city and go to different restaurants. And I don't think I ate anything crazy, but half the time I was eating the food, I didn't really know what it was. One, because it was either in a different language or it just didn't look like something I would be able to identify. A lot of different, soups and, curries and a lot of rice, a lot of, bread. They have silverware, but it's common to eat with your hands. Here's our Uber. They have Uber, so I use my Uber app, and instead of a car showing up for your Uber, it's a tuk-tuk, which is essentially like a motorcycle with 3 wheels almost, or a motorcycle with like a little carriage on the back. And that got me to all my different projects. I would just open the app, and they would be there in a couple of minutes, and they would take me from point A to point B. The dollar goes a long way there, so my rides would be 20 cents, 30 cents, just very, very cheap. But outside my projects, I did a bunch of different cultural experiences. Like I went to the Taj Mahal, I went to different temples. I rode a camel. I went to an elephant sanctuary where I went and cleaned up the elephant cages and bathed them and did all that. I went on a safari, saw leopards in the wild. I wasn't there as a police officer, I was just there as a citizen. The coordinators obviously thought it was really cool that I was an American police officer, and they set up a meeting with the chief of Jaipur police, essentially, their equivalent to the chief. And I went there, he gave me a tour of their department and showed me their different offices and rooms and records department and evidence room, and spent a lot of time with me, just getting to know what we do here in the U.S. and then vice versa. I asked them how they operate, so that was really cool and unexpected because that wasn't something that I asked for. It was just something that they thought would be a cool experience for me, and they made it happen. But India was just completely different. The poverty level is the same as a third world country, but the people are just welcoming. They're so excited that you're there, and it was just something that I hadn't experienced yet, especially with all the stereotypes that I had going in. I just feel like I have a little bit better understanding of how they live, why they do what they do, how they treat different people, and I just feel more comfortable in terms of going to an Indian person's house and handling a call. I feel like I know a little bit more about their background, their culture, their customs, and I think that definitely will help and has helped me handling calls because we have such a big Indian population here in Irvine. So as a police officer, I think it's very important to get out there, get out of your comfort zone, experience something that you know nothing about, and let that experience open your mind and change your attitude, which led to experiences with people that far exceeded my expectations.